Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Okay, so we'll jump right into it. I already did an update on what's going on my other video for the day about traveling to Tennessee and getting my land and all that stuff. So I'm not going to beat it to death. A life coach goes viral for her crazy past. And as you can see here, it's her pointing to, oh, I must be damaged and defective. Now, this is actually kind of one of those videos where I could go one of two ways. And I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments down below. Because as long as, a lot of us are going to make mistakes in life. A lot of us I've probably made more mistakes than most of you have. Mostly because I'm probably older than a lot of you guys. I made a lot of mistakes. And it's not, I've always said this, not famously for me. I famously say this to myself. It's not a mistake if you learn something from it. I've told that to friends and everybody else. If you learn something, it wasn't a mistake. It was a life experience. A good example of that, there's a hot stove. You touch it, it burnt your skin. You had to put a little ice on it, right? It hurt for a couple of days. You got maybe some blisters or something. Was it a mistake? Well, you could say, yeah, it was a stupid mistake. But if you learn from it, you never touch a hot stove again. So when you get divorced to a crazy person, or you date a crazy person, or you just stay with somebody because they're good in the bedroom, but dating them is horrible, you could say, well, man, dating that person was a mistake, unless you learn from it. And if you learn something from it, I think it falls into the life category lesson. But here we have a life coach at 30 years old. Now, that's my first problem. Is a 30-year-old life coach. Like, I didn't even think about giving advice to younger guys until I was 47, I think, when I started doing this. And yes, I traveled the world, and I had dated some crazies, and I had been married and divorced, and I looked at statistics, and I said, you know what, there's some real-world information out here that's worth sharing. But how much can you learn of life by 30, enough that you should be coaching other people? Now, maybe there is some stuff you could coach on them. However, is that enough that you should get paid for that? I don't know. But what about, and she went viral because she's been divorced twice by the age of 30. That's not so good. But if she learned from it, is her advice good? Let me zoom this up so we can see it a little bit here. They say, that's like hiring a tutor that failed out of school. Life coaches branded a joke after revealing she was divorced twice before the age of 30, but she insists her past makes her uniquely qualified to offer advice. Now, if she said, you know something, here's what I learned about myself, because I learned a lot after my divorce. I've learned a lot after some bad relationships. I learned a lot about myself. And I also learned a lot about women, because I figured if I was ever going to either stay away from them or be with one, I want to know as much about them as possible. And then I went into looking up other kind of mental things so that if I have a guy friend or somebody that's kind of too needy or whatever, it just make my life a lot easier. So that's why I said, well, maybe I'll share that with some other people. But I don't know how much she'd know by 30, but let's see if I have not read this, by the way, but let's see if she's learned anything about herself. Marissa Baker, 30, from Naples, Florida. Well, if she's dated some Florida men, she definitely knows. Has been candid about the work she's done to heal from her failed marriages. Earlier this month, she posted a video about how people ask her if she wants to get married again after being divorced twice. The clips have been viewed more than 612,000 times. One critic compared it to hiring a tutor that failed out of school. In a follow-up video, Baker insisted your mistakes don't qualify you. She said she's uniquely qualified to counsel others because of what she's overcome. Okay, maybe she's counseling on divorce, and she's saying, hey, you know what? Here's some red flags and other stuff. Okay. A woman who's been divorced twice before the age of 30. My God, do you make this article just longer, Daily Mail, by repeating the same thing 400 times? She said earlier this month she opened up about whether she wants to get married for a third time. People, after I tell them I've been married and divorced twice by 30, would you ever get married again? She said, she's not a bad-looking girl. She's not a bad-looking girl. She got that Florida tan. She got kind of muscular legs, too. Not bad. Baker then responded to the question, I think it's going to be a long, long time. Why would anybody hire a coach like this? In a follow-up video, she admitted she was baffled by how angry people are that she's been divorced twice before 30. A guy named Jim says red flags all over this. Someone else says maybe it's you, just something to think about. Life coach that's been divorced twice, best joke I've ever heard all day. She says, I share my story, all parts of my story, good, bad, and ugly, because I think it's important that people see the human in other people. We all have our stuff. None of us have it together. Okay. It's quite easy to judge someone for their life and their mistakes that they've made. But I'm quite literally shocked about the amount of people willing to judge a person without even knowing them. I agree with her on that. But that doesn't matter because people's opinions at this point are pretty irrelevant. I also agree with her on that one. Baker later addressed the negative comments about her being a life coach in another clip, insisting, your mistakes don't disqualify you. She argued she's actually uniquely qualified to counsel others because of what she's been through. I've got a lot of comments to the effect of, you've been through 2 divorces and you're going to be a life coach, taking advice from you. I don't think this is with photo I would have used for this particular story. Quite a bit of makeup there. Boy, she's only 30? She looks, I don't know, she looks maybe 30 here. That makeup combination, not a good look for her. And she says, and I just want to offer a reframe to all the people who are judging me. Do my mistakes qualify me? The answer is no. If you've been paying attention at all, any person who's coaching on something or has become an expert in something, a lot of time they're coaching on the things they've overcome. She compared this how people become fitness coaches after learning how to sculpt their own physiques through tailored workouts and nutrition plans. I agree with her on a lot of this. Like, I didn't read the whole thing, but somebody sent this in and they're like, dude, check this out. And I'm like, okay. But here's something that's interesting. I'll finish it with this. And so if you're going through something, or maybe you've been through something and you feel disqualified, I just want to encourage you. She added, it's okay. We all make mistakes. And guess what? You're not disqualified. Actually, I say that's overqualified. So I guess maybe there is a good lesson in this in and of itself. One of my viewers sent this in, and they're like, dude, look at this. Can you believe a woman divorced twice is a life coach? And she's 30. And I say, well, for 30 is pretty young for a life coach, but to an 18-year-old, I'm sure an 18-year-old would like to know what a 30-year-old has experienced. She seems pretty humble. She doesn't seem like she's like, oh, I'm perfect, and it's men that are scum. And so maybe if she's sharing what she's learned about herself and maybe some of her flaws, and maybe talking about red flags that not only she saw in other people, but things that she's overcome, I don't really see a problem with this. I guess maybe I don't, because I'm kind of the same guy. I've had, dozens of jobs. I got bored of all of them or felt like I wanted to do something else after a little while. So I've got a lot of experience in the job market. And I traveled around the world, and when people hear that, they're like, oh, la-di-da. No, if you do it out of a backpack and you're hitchhiking and taking buses and stuff, I made it around the world, and I think it came to somewhere around like 10, 12,000. I don't remember exactly. That's a lot less. I mean, even an apartment that costs you $1,500 a month, that alone will cost you $18,000 a year. It's actually cheaper to stay in a $5 hostel in Thailand and eat, $2 food in Thailand from a restaurant. So it's not a money thing when I tell people I traveled around the world. So I don't know, because I kind of feel like I give advice. So does it disqualify me because, I don't know, I'm a YouTuber now instead of being a network engineer? Oh, if you couldn't hack it as a network engineer, well, I'm not going to listen to job advice from you. Or, oh, you've been divorced. I'm not going to listen to relationship. I don't know. I think this is just too quick to judge. And that's something that we've got a lot of problems on in society, is judging people too quickly. Now, if you just looked at the other video I did today, it was a woman who did $200,000 of body modifications. And you could say, well, dude, you pretty quickly judged her. Yeah, I judged her because she's been single for 7 years and can't figure out why nobody wants her and says people are scared of her. And in the meantime, she just keeps putting more money into making herself look like like a clown. So, yeah, there are some things you can judge. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you think, like, now, if she was going to give you relationship advice, if she was going to give you marriage advice, yes, then I would say, hey, okay, take it with a grain of salt. But if she's going to give you life advice, maybe her lesson is, hey, you know what? I had a lot of issues. Make sure to get yourself ironed out before you get in a relationship, or here's some red flags or other things like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. All righty then. Do I have a dating profile of the day? I thought I did. Did I? I'm pretty sure I had two. Where's my other dating profile of the day? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. For those of you on YouTube, join me over on rumble.com or betterbachelor.locals, or join me on rumble.com or betterbachelor.locals.com if you want to see dating profiles of the day, because YouTube sucks. All right. For the rest of us, let's do a dating profile of the day. I'm not even going to play the profile music. Both of these are short. The other one I did on a video, and this one's short. Number one, she's not bad shape. She's got a ton of makeup on. You can see like an eyebrow that's as thick as a Sharpie marker cap. You know, when you have eyebrows that are like this, you look like Groucho Marx, man. Like, just stop it. Just stop it. She's 31. So, you know, the sand in the hourglass is slowly slipping away. She says, "Don't swipe on me if you're poor." There you go. She is a professional. That's what she is. She is a lady of the night. If your first concern about a guy is he's got money, that means you want his money. You want him to take you and enjoy things with you and do things with you that include money. And that makes you basically a high-end escort. That's it. She says, or have kids. So you can't have any kids. Okay. Also, why are you all in scrubs? Better be a doctor and now listen to this, not an effing nurse. M-U-R-S-E. So if you're in scrubs, you better be a doctor and bringing in that cashola, because if you're a nurse with an M, a nurse, she doesn't want to date you. Hey, you know it'd be great before you get all such a crappy attitude and everything like that, maybe learn how to spell on a dating app, which is your first introduction of you to everybody else in the world.
Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but you're a total bitch.
All righty, yeah, that's, again, get off the internet. That's my new phrase for this week. Get the hell off the internet. Go touch some grass. Go smell some flowers. I don't know. Go eat some fine cuisine. Just get away from the computers. I'll tell you this. Let me know, guys, for those of you that hang in this till the very end, would you like me to do a stream of me playing Elden Ring from scratch? I thought about, because here's the thing. I want to do video for you guys, but I also want to do some hobby stuff. And one of my favorite hobbies is playing video games because it's relaxing. I don't think about the real world. I just focus on that stuff. Would you guys be interested in me watching a stream of me playing Elden Ring or some other games like that? I've got a very diverse audience here. And you know what? If a couple hundred of you would like to jump into a Discord chat, or not Discord, sorry, a Gilded chat, and just shoot the breeze with me while I'm recording a video and playing some Elden Ring or something or other, let me know. Because otherwise, I won't film myself. I'll just play Elden Ring by myself. But I figured that might be a fun way to like have an audio chat and video, and I don't know, maybe do some chat while I play or something like that. Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, guys, we'll see ya. And I'm telling you, man, I don't judge people too quickly. Maybe she's actually a decent person. I don't know. But to the viewer who sent this in, you realize she's pretty much me, right? Like, she's just someone who's had a lot of rough knocks and is saying, maybe telling people how to avoid them. Who knows?